If you're tired of being ignored and want to flip the script to make the other person chase and value you, pay close attention. Many people believe that the more they chase, the more attention they'll get, but this is a limiting belief. In reality, this mindset only leads to a cycle of feeling frustrated and undervalued. As a result, you might feel disheartened, wondering, what did I do? Why are they treating me this way? But it doesn't have to be this way. If you want to be the one who is chased and valued more than ever, all you need to do is watch this video all the way through. After watching this video, you'll understand the psychology of what happens when you start ignoring someone back. You will gain their respect and make them value you more than ever. This means you'll never have to worry about being ignored or undervalued again. Let's start. Number 1. Instant shift in power dynamics. You know how in chess, when you make a calculated move and suddenly the whole game is in your favor? That's precisely what happens with the shift in power dynamics when you choose to ignore someone who's been ignoring you. Let's be real, ignoring is often a power play. When someone ignores you, they're essentially saying, I control the attention and validation in this relationship. So what happens when you flip the script? Boom! A seismic shift in power dynamics. Picture this. You're at a party and there's this person who's been giving you the cold shoulder all evening. You've tried to strike up a conversation, but they're as responsive as a brick wall. But then, you switch gears and start mingling with other guests, laughing and genuinely enjoying yourself. What happens? You've just turned the tables. Now you're the one controlling the flow of attention, and trust me, they'll notice. Number 2. They'll second-guess themselves. You know how in mystery novels the detective always shines a light on the details everyone else overlooks? The same thing happens when you decide to ignore someone who has been sidelining you. It's like you've turned on a spotlight and suddenly they find themselves center stage in their own private drama, no less. Here's how it works. Ignoring someone back introduces a sense of doubt into their minds. They begin to question their own tactics. Before, when they were ignoring you, they felt like they had the upper hand. Now you've leveled the playing field. It's like playing a game of tug of war and suddenly finding that the rope isn't moving anymore on your end. They start to wonder, what changed? Why isn't my tactic working anymore? It's as if an alarm bell has gone off in their head. They begin to question, did I underestimate them? Are they onto something good without me? This second guessing disrupts their earlier confidence and makes them reconsider their approach towards you. Number 3. You gain their respect. In life, respect isn't handed to you on a silver platter. You have to earn it. When someone's ignoring you, whether consciously or unconsciously, they're likely not giving you the respect you deserve. By taking control of the situation and choosing to distance yourself, you're not just showing emotional maturity, you're also commanding respect. Let me lay it down for you. When you ignore them back, you're setting a boundary. You're essentially saying, hey, I've noticed you're not treating me right, and that's not okay with me. I respect myself too much to let this continue. Respect is like a currency in social dynamics. When you show that you won't tolerate being ignored, you're increasing your value in this unspoken social marketplace. Imagine you're a shopkeeper, and someone keeps coming into your store, looking around but never buying anything. One day, you decide not to greet them when they walk in. Suddenly, they feel a lack of something, your attention and courtesy. Before you know it, they're not just browsing, they're buying. Gaining respect by setting boundaries is like setting the rules of engagement. They know they can't walk all over you, and whether they like it or not, they'll have to respect that. Number 4. They start to feel unsure. You know that scene in a movie where the main character suddenly realizes they've been reading the map upside down the whole time? Yeah, that's what's going on in their head right now. All their internal GPS systems are screaming, recalculating. See, when you're ignoring them back, it's as if you've yanked the rug out from under their feet. They're in unfamiliar territory now. They've got to adjust their mental map of how they thought this was going to play out. Let's say you both are friends on social media. They post something and usually you're one of the first to like or comment. Now you're silent, and each time they refresh their notifications, the absence of your name is like a glaring neon sign that reads, hey, something's different here. This uncertainty breeds an undercurrent of anxiety. They're unsure and they don't like it. People are creatures of habit. We rely on predictability. The moment you inject uncertainty into the equation, you've got them hooked. Now they're invested in figuring out the new you. Number 5. They will try to get your attention again. Ever hear of the boomerang effect? You throw something away and it comes right back at you? When you ignore someone who's been sidelining you, chances are they'll start making their way back into your orbit. Now, this can manifest in various ways. Maybe they start texting you more, or accidentally bump into you at places you frequent. Heck, they might even comment on that social media post from 2 years ago just to get on your radar. Consider this. You and this person share mutual friends. After giving them the silent treatment, they suddenly get extra chatty with your friends, almost as if they're trying to indirectly get into your line of sight. Why? Because they miss the engagement, the interaction, the attention. They miss the old you who was always there, and now they're keen on bringing that version back, even if it means humbling themselves a bit. Number 6. They want to fix things. Remember that old saying, you don't know what you've got until it's gone? Well, it's like a timeless folk song for human behavior, played on loop when things go south. When you pull away, their instinct to repair the damage kicks in. It's a classic human response deeply rooted in our social DNA. If you're not around, they can't maintain their status quo of ignoring you without it affecting them. Suddenly, they feel an urge to mend fences. Imagine you two are teammates in a sports club. You used to pass them the ball often, but they never passed it back to you. Once you stop and focus on other teammates, you'll find them making passes towards you out of the blue. It's like they're sending smoke signals that say, hey, let's get back to how things were. The need to fix things isn't just about you, it's also about them. They want to return to a state where they felt more comfortable, more in control, and your ignoring them has disrupted that cozy little bubble. Number 7. They're afraid to lose you. Fear is a potent motivator. It makes us see things we often overlook. When you withdraw your attention, you inadvertently awaken the fear of loss in the other person. Think of it as setting off a little mental alarm clock that suddenly wakes them up to your value. Ever notice how people suddenly become poets when faced with heartbreak? Well, here's your real-world scenario. Say you've been giving your time and energy to someone. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a love interest, and they've been rather lukewarm. You decide to cut back on the texting and spend more time with other people. Like clockwork, their messages start pouring in, punctuated with exclamation marks and emojis they never used before. Fear has set in. They're worried that the train is leaving the station and they're not on it. Remember, people want what they can't have. Number 8. They question their own worth. Self-doubt, the great equalizer. When you pull away, you're not just messing with their perception of you, you're also triggering a domino effect that topples into their self-esteem. It's like they've been cruising along on autopilot and you've just nudged the wheel. It's Psychology 101. Human beings have a tendency to seek validation from external sources. When one of those sources, you, dries up, they're left holding an empty cup, staring into it, and wondering, am I not good enough? Number 9. They really want your approval. Let's get into something that's practically universal: the desire for approval. It's the unseen currency that oils the wheels of human interaction, from schoolyard cliques to corporate boardrooms. Yet, the moment you put a closed for business sign on your validation booth, watch how they line up, practically jonesing for your stamp of approval. Why does this transformation occur? Simple. Scarcity breeds desire. The moment you make your approval a limited edition, something not easily earned, they yearn for it. Now, it's not just another tick on their validation checklist. It's the gold star they didn't know they wanted until it was out of reach. In a nutshell, by pulling back, you elevate your own worth. Your approval gains a newfound mystique, and they can't help but want a piece of that elusive allure. You become the unsolved riddle, the missing lyric in their favorite song, and trust me, that's a tune they'll want to figure out. Now, let's get one thing crystal clear. The principles we've explored today aren't just conversational conjectures, they're grounded in psychological insights. But even if after all this strategic silence they're still giving you the cold shoulder, consider it a sign, a neon one, saying they're not the right fit for you. Remember, a relationship in any form is a two-way street, not a one-way cul-de-sac that leads to nowhere but disappointment. If they can't recognize your worth, then they're not worthy of your time. You deserve people in your life who not only acknowledge your presence, but celebrate it. If you've made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.